Step into a journey where every step is packed with purpose, insight, and empowerment. This is Walk with Wisdom with your host, Genevieve Wisdom. Walk with Wisdom is a dynamic podcast series designed for men and women 40 and over who are ready to embrace their best years yet. Life at this stage isn't about slowing down. It's about leveling up. Each episode is a walkthrough guide to mastering life's transitions, rediscovering passions, and thriving physically, mentally, and emotionally. We bring you expert advice, real life stories, and actionable strategies to help you stride confidently into a future of vitality and fulfillment. So now, please welcome the host of Walk with Wisdom, Genevieve Wisdom.
Hi, everyone. I'm Genevieve Wisdom, and welcome to Walk with Wisdom, your lifestyle show on youthful aging, which is looking good, feeling amazing, keeping all those dreams and goals, and doing so with zest and zeal, no matter what the age. It's a show for those of us 40 and over. However, we have had a huge following of younger, as I like to call it, youthful agers, because the topics we describe and we talk about is for all of us. Just a reminder, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. And of course, make sure you give us a thumbs up on YouTube, set those reminders, and follow us on Bold Brave TV. And after the live show, you can get us on all the audio platforms Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the like. Of course, remember to share all the amazing walks that we have. Today, we have an amazing walk. We have Katerina that's joining us today. Hi, Kat.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi,
Kat.
Genevieve. It's so nice to see you again.
Thank you, Katerina. I am going to do a small intro, and everyone I say small because Katerina has accomplished so much. And as you know, we run out of time on the show, so I'm just going to read a tidbit of what she's done and do a small intro. So, Kat, I made a couple of notes. So,
Okay.
Katerina is a mortgage broker. So, whether you're if you're buying a home, it doesn't have to break your brain. In this episode, I'm joined by mortgage expert Kat, who shares inside tips to help you navigate home loans with clarity and confidence. Kat has been in financing and the mortgage industry for over 10 years. She's passionate and loves traveling. In fact, she's traveled to over 40 countries. Wow. She's an exceptional networker and started a women's networking group supporting women entrepreneurs. So, whether you're a first time buyer or refinancing, we've got you covered. Stick around. At the end, we'll talk about some other things if you are facing stress around your mortgage before you heard about Kat. We have some nutraceuticals that Bruce and I will talk about at the end of the show. Kat, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, some of you may remember Kat. We had a discussion before, and actually, Kat, I got a couple of people who reached out because at that time, everyone, we were talking about skincare because this show is
Yeah,
about youthful aging from the
yeah.
outside in. We take care of absolutely everything we have to traverse. And Kat was amazing to come on and help me introduce Revive 25 organic skincare. But your tag was up that you were in mortgages. So you can see there,
Yes.
everyone, or I'll tell, or audio platform to get a hold of Kat, www.mortgageswithkatarina.com. And actually, Kat, your link is in or ad for the show. So it's on Bullbrave TV, on YouTube, and all the audio
Thank
platforms.
you.
So people are actually asking about you because everybody has mortgage questions. So I'm going to jump right into it. So, Kat, so I have a little tagline that I saw and I thought it was really great. It says, signed on the dotted line, but still clueless. What really is a mortgage broker? And why do so many people still feel in the dark even when they've gotten a mortgage?
Yeah, yeah.
So tell
It's
me
a
what
really
you
good
do first. Yes.
Yeah, such a good question. It's very, I just feel for people who kind of decide, you know what, I want to get in I want to buy a home, or I want to buy my first home, even second home, or, I want to get in the market. What do I do? And, um, you know, it's a very complicated, it could be. It could be very complicated process because mortgages are tricky, right? You don't know really where to start. So I always say you really have to have professionals around you, right? If you want to, fix your teeth, you go to a dentist, right? If you want to, if you have illness, you go to a doctor. So that's why mortgages, if you need to get a mortgage or want to buy a home, you have to go to a professional. That's why we have mortgage brokers. I do mortgages all day long. That's all I do.
Wow.
Basically, that's my life. So I find that a couple of things that I always tell my clients or people who want to um, buy a home, start with actually finding a professional who specializes in what you need. So, as a mortgage broker, what
Yes.
we provide to clients is professional advice, number one, peace of mind, and really walking through that process without causing any stress because we handle everything from the beginning to the end of the transaction. So let's say if you decide to buy a home, you come to me, and from the first conversation to the
Yes.
time that you get the keys to your home, you're working with me. And my job is really to make this process as stress free and as easy as possible. And I am an investor myself. I own a home, and I've gone through this process multiple times, so I know how stressful it could be. So I am here to really navigate and help my clients to get from point A, where you're looking for a property, to point, I guess, the end of the
Cool.
journey, and actually when the clients are getting the keys. So the main
Okay.
difference really for people to work with either mortgage broker or a bank is that as a mortgage broker, I have access to over 50 lenders all across Canada. And I can shop around for rates. I can get different, it depends on the different people's situation. I can get mortgages approved within all different between all the different lenders. When the client just goes to one bank or another bank, they just have to do it all by themselves. And that is really the main difference because I can handle and I can do it all and know who is doing what lender can get you approved at what rate versus you individually as a client going to every single bank by themselves. So I think that's the really main difference. And also at the branch level, I find again, because um, there's so many things happening, they have to do so many things, open credit cards, open bank accounts, mortgages. That's one of their expertise. For us as the mortgage brokers, all we do is mortgages. So we've gone, so basically in my 10-year career, I've gone through thousands of mortgage applications. I don't know if the person at the branch has done that much or has that much experience or expertise, right? So I say find yourself a professional who specializes in the industry and trust them to with your whatever you're looking for, all your questions, and you can interview a few because sometimes you want to find a person that really, you can trust them and you understand their experience, right? I think it's really important to find the right person. So
Of
yeah,
course.
it's been a journey for me as well, and I absolutely love what I do because I know how hard it is to get in the market, buy your first home, second home. We live in a very expensive city in Vancouver,
Yes, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
it's not easy.
Of course. Kat, thank you so much. That was a great introduction. And for those in our listening audience, we are on the amazing Bullbrave TV platform, which gives us a much wider listening audience. And Bullbrave TV is out of New York City. So you
All
know
right.
it ain't cheap.
No,
It's
no,
not cheap there either.
it's
And
not.
so
Yes.
I love what you said about being a mortgage broker and what a mortgage broker does. Now, for a listening audience, let's say we have some of our valued listeners in New York or just in the
Yeah.
in the areas in the states. Could they contact you as a mortgage broker and you could help them with some expertise, or would you recommend that they look for a mortgage broker in their area?
I'd say they will have to find somebody in US in
Oh,
the area because obviously it depends unless they're buying in Canada and they
it
want
could be.
to, yeah, if they want
Yes.
to buy here for sure, but it's they will have to find somebody closer to where they live for sure. Yeah, it will be easier
Of
for them.
course. Yeah, because the rules and the laws are all
Yes,
different. That totally makes
yes,
sense. No,
yes.
Kat, thank you so much. Now, I have a question. And by the way, everyone, if you want to get a hold of Kat, you can visit her website. I'll read it out, which is Mortgages with Katerina, Katerina.com. And of course, we have the link in the show, and it will be on all our social media platforms afterwards. And don't forget, you can always ask about any guests by emailing me, wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca. And of course, as we talk about all the information we give here, it's educational information. So always, as Kat says,
Yeah.
check with your local expert. However, Kat is an expert of all experts, and I can say that with confidence because I have known her. Now, Kat, one of the
Yes.
questions, by the way, we are getting some comments. And again, everyone, just a reminder, you may not see the comments because our e-link system isn't really giving us a feedback, but I'm seeing them and I have a few comments. And one of them is the next question, which is, and you mentioned it about what you do, fixed versus variable. Which one won't break your peace? So the specific question is, can you break down the two main types of mortgages in simple, stress-free terms?
I love that. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for asking. And I like that there was a piece in that question
Yes.
because, I really, really, it's actually interesting because that's exactly how we can describe the two type of mortgages. If you really want to have a peace of mind, and that is really important for some people. And again, you would want to stick to with a fix because once you get that fixed mortgage for the next life of your term of your mortgage, you're going to have exact same set payment, and the payment will be fixed and the rate will be fixed. So that's about the fix. So if you a little bit, deciding, I'm not really sure if I what I want to do with the property. Maybe I'm planning to sell, or let's say I'm planning to, maybe I'm not quite happy with the rate right now. Maybe I want to keep an eye on the market a little bit. Then you can probably go with a variable because the difference between variable and fixed is how you want to break the term. So if you want to break variable term on mortgage, it's much easier to break the term because the penalties are only 3 months interest. And then if
Oh,
you take the fixed term mortgage, then you will need to basically, if you're breaking the term, there's a formula that is used to calculate the penalties, and the penalties are much higher on a fixed rate term. So with the variable, um, it's easier to break the term. You can sell it. It's only 3 months interest payment that you pay, and you can get out of that term with no problems at all. But um, variable will fluctuate based on the rate that is set by the Bank of Canada. So if the prime rate of goes up, then the variable will change. If the prime rate of Canada goes down, then the rate will change. So you have to have a little bit of a kind of be okay with a little bit more risk when you take in the variable term. So that's why I'm saying if you need a peace of mind,
Yeah.
then definitely fixed term would be for you because people have budgets, people have families, and I always, when I'm discussing mortgage needs with clients, that's a very important question to have is what are you looking for in you? What do you need, and what exactly would you be comfortable with when you take in the term? Would you take a fixed or variable? Are you what are you planning to do with this property? Some people are investors and they don't know, so they may want to take variable because they may want to sell, so the penalties are not as high when they decide to break it. So I
Kat,
love that question. It always
that was
comes up in every conversation. Yeah.
That's a great question, and that was a great answer. Now we're coming up to a break, everyone. So, Kat, that was incredible. Can you imagine how fast time has flown?
I can.
And yes, exactly. And for everyone, we have such a wide listening audience. Absolutely, we have a concentration here where we are. Um, but the information that Kat is giving you, it's so great for wherever you are. You can just extrapolate it to your
Yeah.
area. So now, everyone, we are going to go on a short break. Then we will come back with Kat in the next half.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
Together, we decided to create a community for women in business because I knew how it felt, and she did as well. And that's how Van City Boss Lady is created. And we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, and we have got over 300 businesses that are owned by women in our community. And through our networking events that we host every month, every second month, we help women to feel empowered, motivated, and really connect with each other on a deeper level and help each other to get through these tough times when you are starting your business, when you have challenges, when you need help or advice or just somebody to connect with who can understand.
Hi, everyone. I'm Genevieve Wisdom. Welcome back to Walk with Wisdom, your lifestyle show on youthful aging. And today, we're youthful aging with Katerina and talking to her about mortgages. Kat, thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Thank you.
this does fit into the foundation of the youthful aging platform because
Yeah.
a lot of people get a lot of stress around this. And as you know, stress
Yeah.
shows up in so many ways: health, your
Yeah.
skin, all of it. So thank you for coming here to help us de stress the mortgage process as an incredible mortgage broker.
Thank you
I'm
for
going to go
having
on to the
me.
next. Oh, sorry, Kat. Please go ahead.
No, no. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm going to go on to the next question. Um, so we have something called pre-approved,
Hmm.
and someone was just go, oh, that's what I was going to text. So there you go. So pre-approved. The title of this question is pre-approved or pre-confused. What's the real process of getting a mortgage that's pre-approved? Really explain what that means to
You
your
know,
listener.
it's, yeah, thank you for asking because I think it's the most important question that everybody should really ask themselves before and find the answer, or just ask me directly and I will answer too. Um, so the main difference between really pre-approval and pre-qualification is so when you decide to buy a home, you go to the bank and the bank or the lender or myself, we need to review all the documents. It's your income, it's your credit, it's your down payment. All of those documents are reviewed by the lender. But before you have a property, really, the lender is not going to look at it because you don't have a purchase yet, right? So you haven't really done anything. You haven't found the property. So my job is to review the documents as I would be the lender.
Mm,
So, and that I call pre-qualification because prior to me becoming a mortgage broker, I used to be a senior mortgage underwriter for large banks in Canada. So I used to approve and decline mortgages for living for years. So that was my job. I absolutely loved it. It was a very, I've gone, that was the start of my career. So for almost over 7 years, I've done underwriting. So it calls underwriting. So you underwrite the file. So you review all the documents, you review all the income, credit, and you make your decision whether you're approving or declining that mortgage. So for my job is now as a mortgage broker is actually review the documents and pre-qualify as we have an actual a live purchase. Let's say you already found the property and give a pre-qualification, pre-approval that I would give to a client. So it's very important to actually just go through that exercise as you would already almost found the property and get those that pre-approval. So that's the main difference is actually have a specialist as myself, a mortgage
Mhm.
broker, review everything as it would be and give you pre-qualification number. So pre-approval usually it's a rate hold. So the bank they don't review any documents. They just give you a rate hold. That's it. So it holds your rate for 4 months and that's about it. But actually pre-qualifying is something that you want to do is getting everything ready, all the documents reviewed. So then when you find the property, you already know you've already been pre-qualified for a mortgage, so you're good to go and you can make an offer.
I love that. And I'm going to jump in right here
Yeah,
because this was a question that came up, and, something that is just out there for the listening audience. And I think that is where the pre approved or pre confused comes in. So, pre approved means you hold the mortgage rate, and then pre qualified means you can go and purchase a property.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
my question on that is, let's say you get pre-qualified. Does
yeah,
that mean you can go in, you get pre-qualified for, I was going to say $1 million, but let's say 2 million where we live.
yeah,
You get
exactly.
pre-qualified, right? For 2 million. Does that mean you can go and pick out any property within that norm, or do you now have to come back to you to get, oh, yes, you can buy this property? Is there anything else that needs to be done
Well,
there?
you basically can. So as long as I give you a green light, you can go ahead and look for property within that price range that I give you. And the only recommendation is to put a subject to, let's say, when you're making an offer, to maybe inspection, because sometimes it may not be you, it might be the property have issues. So you want to make sure that there are still a subject to either if you're maybe if you're going a little bit over to financing still. I do still recommend to have some kind of a condition in a contract that you can have to make sure that there's a way if you're not happy with the property, you can cancel that contract. But yeah, basically, once I pre-qualify you, you can go ahead and look in the purchase in the how for prices within that price range.
That is really, really incredible.
Yeah,
Now, Kat, I'm seeing here, and by the way, everyone, don't forget if you want to ask Kat any questions, we do have her link on the show link on across all platforms, and her website is Mortgages with Katerina, Katerina.com. You can also send me an email, wisdom@walkwithwisdom.ca, and we can link you up. Kat, what I'm finding out is that a mortgage broker is just so incredibly important to take
mm,
the stress out.
yeah,
Is that a good way to put your job? We bring everything to go. We want to buy a house. We don't know where to start, and you take care
yeah,
of it. Is that a quick
yeah.
analogy?
Absolutely, absolutely. I wish I had a good mortgage broker one of the times that I worked in the past. I didn't have a good experience, unfortunately, and that really put a lot of stress on me and my husband because it was not a pleasant experience of buying a property. It was very
Right.
stressful. We didn't get the response within the time that we wanted to. It was everything was delayed. We had to follow up so many times, and it could cause a lot of stress as a first time, second time, doesn't matter really. It's a big transaction. You're spending a lot of money and you want it to be easy. You want it to be stress free. So that's why when I became a mortgage broker, I completely understand what people are going through. And my job is to put them at ease, to make it as easy and stress free as possible because I've been there and I know how hard it is, how stressful it can be, but it doesn't have to be because I take care of a
Doesn't
lot
have
of
to.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. No, a quick question around that. And it's we have our dream home in mind, and then sometimes it turns into a nightmare stress. But it doesn't have to be. But why does buying a house, in your experience, because you look so young, by the way, Kat, and you've
Ah,
had
thank
so
you.
much experience. Yes, you do. You look fantastic. But you've had so much experience around this. Why is buying a house so overwhelming? What are maybe the top two or top three things that you see as a mortgage broker, that people why people get so overwhelmed when it comes to buying a home?
Well, imagine, as we talked about it before, it's the biggest, for some people, it's the biggest purchase of their life. It's thousands of dollars involved in that transaction. So if you've never had experience buying, or if you've never had experience, going through the process, it's just so much at stake. What if something goes wrong? So my job is really communicate all the steps and just making it really explain the process really and put people at ease because I've done it. I've been there, and it's I know all the timelines and what is expected and whether the documents that I have on are good and or we have and what we're working with. People are just, I think there's a stress and overwhelm of unknown sometimes,
Yes,
and I think maybe a communication or just basically not knowing what's going to happen next. And so when I step in and when I work with my clients, I am in communication daily. I can be reached at any time of the
oh,
day and evenings and weekends. And that is just because I work for myself and I understand that this is the value that I give to my clients, and people, let's say if somebody's working with the bank closes at 5 p.m. and they are closed on the weekend, so they're not going to get their response on time. And sometimes they are stressed on the weekend, but I can make a call and that stress goes away. If I say, no, we're good, we're totally good, we're fine. You don't need to worry about things. We're good.
right. That's awesome.
So yeah,
Please go ahead, Kat. Was there? I'm
no,
sorry. I
that's a yeah,
Well, what I was going to say is not unlike, what Bruce and I do because we're coaches. We come in the middle. We're that conduit for people if they have questions to take that stress away around nutraceuticals or different things.
yeah,
You are now my conduit to take that stress away. And so everyone, if you're in our area in Canada, because you can be a mortgage broker across Canada, correct?
yeah, yes, anywhere in
Not
Canada.
across Canada, you have to see Katerina, mortgageswithkaterina.com. And of course, for our valued listeners in the States, just extrapolate what Kat has said. She's given us really, really great foundational information so you can use it wherever you are in the world, because Bold Brave platform is global. So wherever you are in the world listening to us do a walk with wisdom, around mortgages and stress less, it's really, really important. And so, Kat, I think you are, as a mortgage broker, that important, necessary conduit for all of us who are looking, to get that mortgage to get the dream home. Now, Kat, in the last couple minutes we have here, can you just give us just a wrap up? I know, you're gonna have to come back because I didn't even start with much more of your story as to how you got into it. There's so much
Yeah.
more to talk about, but we just wanted to get everyone a foundational understanding as to what you do as a mortgage broker. So, in the last couple of minutes, can you just kind of wrap up just what you do as a mortgage broker? If someone is looking for a mortgage, how they find you, or what is the best way to find a mortgage broker for them?
No, absolutely. I can, so based on my experience, let's just say that, based on my experience and the thousands of mortgage applications that I've gone through and helped so many clients, I basically specialize in purchases, whether you want to buy first home, second home, investment property, whether you need to refinance, maybe take some equity out for your to invest, or maybe buy your a next property, or if you need to transfer your mortgage and it's time for renewal. I can help with all your mortgage related needs. You can find me through the link below,
Yes,
or
exactly.
follow me on Instagram. It's Mortgages with Katarina. I post a lot of content there as well. Just or reach out to Genevieve, and she knows how to find me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kat, can you please repeat your Instagram?
Yes, it's Mortgages with Katarina. It's same as my website below, and
Okay.
it's yeah, yeah,
Perfect, perfect. And yes, everyone, again, Katerina is an expert, and that's what I love when we go on a walk. We have incredible experts come in and share their expertise. Kat, we really appreciate and respect that you came in and did that today. Again, everyone, if you want to know more about Kat, you can get a hold of me as well, wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca, or her website, mortgageswithkatarina.com,
thank
Instagram.
you.
Kat, you have been an absolute joy. I now think I understand the difference between pre approved, and I won't get pre approved and pre confused. That was a great, great question. And just, I have a quick comment here, and someone was asking, so mortgage brokers are necessary, and we have about 30 seconds, but I guess it's more of a statement. And so, Kat, I just want you to give your final,
Yeah.
exclamation with this. So basically, in the world we live in right now, mortgage brokers are necessary when we're looking for, is it just new home or any type of home, um
It,
not just to
I hundred,
buy?
yeah, I 100% would go with the mortgage broker just because of the options that you have and the expertise that they provide. I say 100%. Surround yourself with professionals and specialists in the industries to get the best quality of service and anything you do, really. Just
Yeah.
I think that's the best advice I would give anybody, really. Surround yourself with professionals in the industries.
Fantastic. Katerina, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, we're going to take a short break for our sponsors, and we're going to come back with Bruce Cat. I know you're super busy, so thank you for the time you gave us. So,
Of
Bruce and I
course.
are now going to break it down. We're still going to be talking about you, everyone. We're going to be talking about what we understood from Cat, and then we're going to talk about maybe some nutraceuticals. If you didn't know about Cat before you started this process and you're having some stresses, we're going to talk about some nutraceuticals to help. Kat, appreciate you.
Perfect.
Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you as
Okay,
always.
of course, everyone will be right back. One thing that I learned about me is I didn't have the gift of putting on makeup nor doing my hair. Didn't have that gift. Other people did it for me. But one thing mom told me is keep great skin. Because she said throughout life, that's something that you can always hang on to. You may change how you wear makeup, etc., but keep great skin. So cleanse, tone, moisturize. And that was it from the 80s. Now I give everyone a glimpse as to my age. In the 80s, that was foundational. Three things: cleanse, tone, moisturize. In my late 50s, people look at my skin, and Kat, after talking about everything that's gone on here, a lot of what I do to do this show and just share with everyone my wisdom at this age is I clip on a ponytail, pop in my contacts, put on my skincare. Done. And honestly, many times that's all I have the energy for. And so everyone was saying, "Gosh, your skin is great. Is it because of the chocolate?" And I go, "No, I've worked at it." Hi, everyone. I'm Genevieve Wisdom. Welcome back to Walk with Wisdom. And we have Bruce Pollock who joins us sometimes throughout the entire show. Bruce has been an incredible adjunct to the show to help us break it down. Hi, Bruce.
Hey, Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Great. I'm just going to remind those who may not know, um, may be listening in for the first time. So, Bruce, homeopath by trade, he's a natural health expert, knows nutraceuticals inside and out, and he's here to help us on this walk. And today we're talking about something that just happens in life because this is a lifestyle show. So it's not just about health and nutraceuticals, it's about everything, which is why we had Kat on today. I know people come in, Bruce, I have seen them, and they've been stressed out because they're buying a house or they're moving or they don't have enough money, etc. So, can you help us, Bruce, break it down for valued listeners? What did you hear Kat say about this process as a mortgage broker?
I'm really glad she came on actually because I didn't actually know what a mortgage broker did. So, a few things that really stood out to me is the access to 50 different lenders. So she can find you the best rate and get you the most money I guess you can afford based on your budget. So that's really exciting. So you don't have to go shopping around, she shops around for you. So I thought that was
Yes.
really cool. I
Yes.
also she quoted this number of times, and I'm going to requote it back to you: is hire a professional. And I
Okay.
really think you should hire a professional no matter what you do. But if you're buying a house, how much more stress free can you be if you have someone doing all the work for you? So all you have to
Absolutely.
do is go find the place you want to buy, the apartment or the home. And she's doing all that backlog work, all the paperwork. She's getting you qualified. She's getting you pre-qualified, pre-approved, all that sort of thing. So I think it's an amazing person to have walking with you as you buy a house or an apartment.
Absolutely.
Um, I also appreciated the fixed price variable conversation was the fixed price for peace of mind. You're locked into a payment no matter what happens in the world around you. That's the same payment you make. The variable payment, it goes up and down based on interest. And so far, interest has been going up, not really down. But
Yes.
if you're just buying it to sell it, to turn it over, then you want variable because there's a whole lot less penalties in breaking the mortgage. And I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that either. I knew there's a lot of penalties in breaking a fixed price, but I didn't realize there's far less. Only 3 months percentage payment to break a variable loan. So if you're not planning on holding on to this property forever or don't know what you're going to do with it, the variable might be the way to go. So
Yes,
I,
absolutely.
I thought that was really well explained. And again, I knew the difference, but I didn't know why you would use a different one. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I thought she made that very clear. So I thought that was really good. And
Yes.
then again, the pre-approved and pre-qualified. I didn't realize that pre-approved just meant they're holding a rate for you. I thought
Nor
that
did
meant you'd been pre exactly right. So I thought you was just, and they're just holding a rate for you for 4 months. But the pre-qualified, then they're saying you have X amount of dollars to spend. You are qualified to spend this much money. So that's a really big difference that I didn't know about. So I
Bruce, I'm
thought that was really cool.
jump in. I'm going to jump in here a bit just about the pre-approved and pre-qualified, and um, I think you and I may have had this conversation in passing, and if not, now is a good time to have it. So pre-approved, pre-qualified, and I think we were wondering. Does that mean I can buy my dream home, that castle? I don't know if you knew I wanted a castle. That castle I've always wanted. Oh, pre-approved. And you're going, Jen, I don't think that's how it works. I think maybe they have to look at it and say that, yes, you can buy that property. So, as you said, Katerina did something really, really great in explaining the difference about being pre-approved and about being pre-qualified. And so did I get it right? Because you're so amazing at taking the complicated and making it simple in everything. So, did I get it right when she said if you're pre qualified, she's looked through all your numbers? And yes, let's say we're pre qualified in Vancouver, 2 million. I'm sure in New York too. So,
Hmm.
all our valued listeners, on that side of the border knows that, we have some expensive real estate. So, if we're pre qualified, then we can go and get whatever we want within that amount. Is that what you heard?
That's exactly what I heard. If you're pre-qualified, she says you have this amount to spend. You can spend that amount. I also, though, heard the caveat to that, and that was put a subject on it so you can get out of it if you want to.
Yes,
And
that's
the
right.
subject usually is subject to inspection, and usually something comes up in the inspection that you can back out with if you wanted to. But absolutely, if you're pre-qualified, if she says you're pre-qualified for 2 million, you can walk out there, sign the bottom line tomorrow, and the money's available to you. Yeah.
Oh, no,
So
that is awesome. Anything else that came up for you with the questions I asked Kat?
well, I didn't know there was somebody. I didn't know that she'd be with you from the beginning till the keys change hands. I thought that was interesting because I thought she would just sort of, okay, you're pre-qualified. I found a lender that, or yeah, pre-qualified. I found a lender. This is how much. You have fun. Let me know who I send the check to,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And
Yes.
but there's a lot of legal stuff involved in buying a house where
Yes.
you've got to get things signed properly, the documents have to be in place, all that kind of thing, and she helps you with all of that as well. And those are the things, like if we go back to one of the stresses that she talked about was the stress of the unknown. Oh,
Yes.
okay, I've got the $2 million, I've been pre-qualified by a bank. I need a lawyer. I need to get someone to sign this. I need this done. I need that done. And these are all
Exactly.
these unknown things that we just don't know because we're not trained to do it. And yes, these are the stress things because now you're running around again. It's Sunday. You're trying to get documents signed. There's no one to sign them, right? Whereas she already knows what needs to be done. She takes care of all of
Absolutely.
that, and so it takes that stress of the unknown away from it. The
Absolutely.
right, and that's
Absolutely.
huge because we just don't know. That's why we hire a professional, right?
That's why we're a
So
professional, to get rid of the unknown. And also, Bruce, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I was in the finance industry. Did you know that? Did you know that I was
I
in the finance industry?
didn't know what you did in the finance industry. I knew you were in it at one point.
Yeah, so I was an insurance broker, and not unlike what you
Mm,
said about a mortgage broker. The difference is when you're a broker is you have access to a plethora of different agencies, and I really like that she said that, which you pointed out about being a mortgage broker. She can shop you around to see who will give you the best rate. It's not like you go to one company and they're just going to give you what they have, whether or not it's the best for you. That's what they have. And so, being in insurance and in the finance industry, a few things that she said really made sense is that you really need a team. So, like what we do if we're talking about nutraceuticals, we always tell people go to your primary care practitioner, which we said here as well, of course, get a team of experts. But
mhm,
there's room for everyone to come in and help you on that walk, which is why we're doing Walk with Wisdom. And so, that was something that was really interesting for me, is being an insurance broker and a mortgage broker, having access to all of that. And because I thought it was just, oh, you have your realtor, but no, you have your mortgage
mhm,
broker who's there with you from start to finish. That de-stresses a lot of
mhm.
people. Bruce.
Absolutely. And again, so now you've got two people working your side. You've got the mortgage broker helping you do all the paperwork, and you've got the real estate agent helping you find the right place for you. And
Yes,
this is you've
absolutely.
got that team. It may be two people or maybe a big company, depending on who you're working with, but you've still got that team. I also appreciated the part about it's the biggest purchase of your life. And I
Yeah.
mean, it is the biggest purchase. I remember when I bought my first car, I was stressed out, not to mention the house, but the first car almost killed me. So, you know, I like that she's there to make the process easy because, yeah, you're $2 million. You're now in debt for 20 years or 30 years. And
Oh,
you want
oh,
someone there who can actually explain it, make it easy to understand, and make it all happen for you. Because,
of course.
oh my God, I'm now in debt for $2 million, right? And and in Vancouver, that means you have a one-bedroom apartment.
Oh,
Sorry, just a joke. It's
wow.
not that
And
bad,
I think New
but
York too.
but
Next time I'll ask
but
Dan, is that in New York too, right? Oh,
so
wow.
those I thought both the stresses were good, but especially where she comes in because she can't really do much about the biggest purchase of your life, but she can sure do the stress of the unknown. That's something she
Absolutely.
can she can take care of totally for you. So she's taken half the burden away from you just by her sheer presence. She's taken half the stress burden away from you. So I think that's amazing.
It is amazing. And, it was really great. And with the Walk with Wisdom podcast, we're talking about life and everything that affects life. And certainly a lot of us have to redo, because that's why I asked her at the end there, Bruce, about, because sometimes people have misconceptions. I know we all do, that a mortgage broker is for your first time. That's when you need
Mm-hmm.
it. But a lot of us, when we're 40 plus, like the show, the platform, when we're 40 plus, we're going through changes in life, whether it's divorces or helping the kid get something. We do need a mortgage broker really throughout life at those pivotal times when we purchase. So that's really awesome. Bruce, you and I will need to talk about if someone is stressed no matter what, especially around mortgages. I thought we tied in together today because we actually talked about stress last week on the body. So we're coming up to a break here. When we come back, maybe we can introduce a couple of nutraceuticals. That's what Bruce and I do best. We understand nutraceuticals to help the body deal with life. Katarina was awesome. Bruce, when we come back, we go right into nutraceuticals that will help us de-stress, stress less. Everyone, wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca. We also have a WhatsApp community. When we come back, we will have that a number for you. And remember, you can get a hold of Bruce as well at wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca. And thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back.
Up until the day I actually discovered Revive 25, there was nothing in my routine that I was stuck on. So I had the privilege of discovering Revive 25 about a year and a half ago when I did a photo shoot for the brand. And you guys gave us little samples of certain skincare products from Revive 25 just to use to say thank you. And I started using, I believe it was an oil. So it was a face oil. That was the first thing I ever used. And
Yeah.
with 4 to 5 days, my skin was so moisturized, glowing like it never had before. And the biggest thing I found was that my makeup actually stayed on for a lot longer. It went on a lot smoother because I was using the proper base. I was prepping my skin in a way that I never had before.
Hi, everyone. I'm Genevieve Wisdom. Welcome back to Walk with Wisdom. And I have Bruce Pollock here with me, and we're in the wisdom tips section. Bruce is amazing in coming alongside me to help take the complicated, make it simple. We have incredible guests. Today it was Katarina talking about mortgages and de stressing that aspect that happens in life. Bruce, thank you. Welcome back. Now, what we have inadvertently become known for, and really because of our expertise or recent expertise in integrative health, is nutraceuticals. And so I actually had a comment. Someone said, I'm stressed out anyway, just thinking about it. Are there any nutraceuticals? So, this is research, vitamins and minerals that you have seen work in the past in your experience, or that may just help our valued listeners when they're going through mortgage, housing, moving. Ah,
Absolutely. If you're, let's talk about acute stress. We're all under some chronic stress, but now you're under acute stress, but big stress. You have to find the place you want to buy. You're making that biggest purchase, and now you're starting to not to sleep. You're starting to get some anxiety happening. All those things that come together. Of course, your digestion is going to be thrown out. Start with just be simple here. Start with like theanine and GABA. So theanine is a natural product. It's found in green tea. Don't
yep.
drink green tea. It's full of caffeine. You don't need
Yeah,
it at this point. But the theanine is very calming for the body, and it relaxes the body and it relaxes the mind. So that'll put you at relaxed. And the GABA, I'm not going to go technical about it, but it actually separates you from your anxiety. So now you can think, your body is calmer, your mind is calmer, and you're not getting nailed with all this anxiety that's happening. And so you
absolutely.
can actually sleep, you can make correct choices, and you can actually go forward and not want to curl up in a little ball in the corner, which I've wanted to do once in a while. Um,
Me,
there's a number of different ways you can do this as well. As there's some chewable GABA and theanine, and there's also capsules. And the chewables are a lot lighter, but they hit you much quicker. The
right.
capsules are have much more volume of product in them, but they take longer to get into your bloodstream. So if
Right.
you want to get hit right away, you do chewables. If you're looking for a long-term relaxation, capsules. And then you need to think about your adrenals as well,
Of
because
course.
they're the ones that are kicking all this cortisol out. So, ashwagandha is very good. And then pick up a cortico B5, B6. B5 is really, really good for the adrenals. B6 is really, really good for the hormones. So you're starting to balance your hormones. You're starting to feed your adrenals some good stuff to give it some ashwagandha. And that will be calming on acute level. Chronic level, you have to go much deeper. But for acute, you'll actually notice those as a difference.
That's phenomenal, Bruce. And what he's mentioned, everyone, are things that I know I've also encountered when I support naturopathic doctors, whether it's on the integrative medical floor that we've been on, as well as in private practice, and something about L-theanine. L-theanine is amazing, and I'm glad you mentioned that one because people sometimes get confused when you say it's from green tea. They go, "Well, I'm just going to drink green tea." No, because it's the chemical compounds, and it's almost counterintuitive that there's L-theanine in green tea, and it has that relaxation effect. When I went back, Bruce, to university, I graduated from my undergrad when I was almost 40. Everyone told me I wouldn't do it. I was modeling, traveling the world. Then I went back to university. I chewed L-theanine and took the capsules. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually do it now for chronic stress to help me sleep. I have GABA and L-theanine. And one thing I'm going to add to that is we've had Gary from Designs for Health, and we actually have a link in our show. We have it definitely in the last show. I'll make sure I put it on our WhatsApp community, everyone. I'll have the number for you right now, which is 1236 And that's the WhatsApp community. Just text there to join. And we'll put a link in there through DFH. I'm happy to give an introductory gift because, everything costs money. Getting a house and your nutraceuticals. So there's one, you remember how you talked about those all in wonder powders? Well, there's an
Mm-hmm.
all in one capsule that I really like called Stress Arrest. I actually give it to my husband who drives a cement mixer truck for a living, and the man has some stress. Now, his might be chronic. However, whenever it comes to moving, I give him extra of those. So it's called Stress Arrest by DFH, Designs for Health. And everything that Bruce has talked about, just look in your local area. But the nutraceutical grade, like Cytomatrix and DFH, who's been here, it's really, really great. Again, remember everyone, always go to your primary care practitioner, your naturopath before you start any protocols, Bruce and I are here as your coaches to help explain it and help you along. Wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca. You can get a hold of both Bruce and I, or join our WhatsApp group, 1 236 Bruce, are you going to run out and get a new mortgage for something anytime soon? Is
We know
that
we
the
just
stage that you're in?
we were blessed. We signed through our mortgage the day we got our mortgage locked in, our rates locked in. The next day they went up.
Oh, wow.
So our timing was just incredible to when we had to remortgage our home. Yeah, it was
Oh,
a fabulous thing. So nope, not going to
phenomenal.
round getting a mortgage.
Well, phenomenal. Well, thank you for being on the show today. If you can imagine, Bruce, it's that time again. We're actually coming to the end of the show. Thank you for joining. Glad to know that we won't have any additional stressors. Everyone, you know where to meet, get a hold of Bruce and I, wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca, or join our WhatsApp, 1 236 458 2043. Katarina's information is in the link, and we'll also be talking about mortgages and all of that when Bruce and I do some other shorts throughout the week. It's coming. I know you're all waiting. It's coming, right, Bruce? It's coming for those
Absolutely.
deep dives that we're going to do. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Wisdom at walkwithwisdom.ca. We always enjoy you. Thank you to all our followers and our listeners. Remember to give us the thumbs up, share the information. We're doing a walk to help one another. Let's youthful age together in every realm. Bruce, you look good, and thank you for joining again.
Thanks, Genevieve. It's been fun.
Great.
This has been Walk with Wisdom with host Genevieve Wisdom. Tune in each week as Genevieve will present powerful guests who'll inspire you to make every step count. Whether you're walking your dog, tackling your morning run, or enjoying a quiet moment with your headphones, Walk with Wisdom is your companion for redefining what it means to age powerfully and intentionally. Fridays, 4 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network. Powered by B2 Studios. Take the first step with us, because wisdom isn't about what you've left behind. It's about everything that lies ahead.